Oh, happy Thursday, beautiful people. Welcome. Welcome back to LoveBabz Love Talk. It's Thursday. Happy Thursday. There's a lot going on. So I see the Yale students are back to protesting. They get back on campus and they get right back at it. So I see they had a little protest rally yesterday. These little Yale kids ain't playing. So they 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 back at it. So the new president, you walking into something. Has the Salivate left? How much more time does Salivate have? Is he gone? I know they got a new president coming in. I don't know if she started yet. Did she start? I'm adjacent to them circles. I'm adjacent to the circles where, presidents are picked. I'm not doing the picking. I'm adjacent. I'm next door. So, but there's a piece up at the New Haven Independent by Laura Glesby, who I love. I love the way she writes because she gets all up in it. And she's got a very sort of a non-affect about her. So, she could blend right in. Yale protests resume along with classes. So over 100 Yale students and allies marked the first day of classes by calling for a free Palestine on the steps of the Elm Street courthouse has 14 students arrested on campus for protesting. Last spring returned to the courtroom to call for their misdemeanor trespassing charges to be dismissed. All right, they got to come to school and go to court. They sound pretty black to me. I know these parents is like, listen, if you must protest, keep the family attorney on speed dial. There's adequate bail money. Don't worry. Do this little protest thing. Get it out of your system. Am I just being too harsh on these Yale students? I might be too harsh. I might be too harsh. That's what I imagine. But the reality is these kids are doing some good ass work and they out there stomping in these streets. Because it's gonna take these kids to keep it in the forefront of our imagination and in our minds. Really, it's really gonna be the kids. Because adults will move on to some other ish. Uh and it'll be these collegiate students who keep the issues of Gaza and Palestine and the Congo and the Sudan at the forefront of our minds and in the news. Because if they don't do it, who'll do it, right? If they don't do it, who'll do it? So uh, I appreciate them stomping on the front lines. And to all the people who are like, that's not what you send kids to school for. Yes, the hell it is. Yes, the hell it is. Some of the best protesting I've ever done in my whole entire life was done on college campuses. You know, I remember I was in college, and I went to school because I wanted to be a doctor, but I spent so much time protesting with the NAA, local NAACP and Student Government Association. My professors was like, listen, you have talent, you just don't have interest. And they were right. I didn't have, so I called my mama. I said, listen, I'm gonna switch my major. And she was like, okay. My mother didn't really care what I was gonna do. She just wanted me in college. And so she didn't care what I was gonna major in. She really didn't care. I was the one saying I wanted to do this, and that, and the other thing. She didn't really care. She was just grateful and proud that I was in college. That was what she wanted. And so I switched my major to business administration to marketing because it was just an easier lift than being in the lab. Because when you pre-med, you in the lab, you're getting all your sciences in. So you have to be in the lab 4 or 5 hours a day. I was like, I can't do that. They over there protesting. Gotta, I gotta make my science. I gotta be over there. I just couldn't do both. So it worked out. It only put me a semester behind. So it's all right. It was all right with me. So anyway, so the students are back, the Yale students are back, and they are picking up the mantle of they're picking up the gauntlet and running with it. Um, what else is going on? Uh, there's still a lot of outpouring for Janetti, who used to own 116 Crown, and people are, just coming aware of the news and all of that. And my heart stays open for that tremendous loss. So, you know, people 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 are grieving, you know. Oh my gosh. Look at them. So yeah, that's my stream is full. Let me just segue to something else. Y'all know I don't stay on one thing too long unless it's really hot. Um uh I'm looking at the stream of the first day of school. Today's the first day of school. Happy first day of school, New Haven. And teachers, students. Now I'm gonna have to make sure I pay attention to what time I leave my house during the day so I don't get behind these damn buses. The good thing is I'm at my black job from 9 to 11, so I'm not in the way of buses. But when I have to get to the gym at 12, it's still easy because buses don't show up till about 2, right? They don't start picking kids up till about 2, 1:30, 2 o'clock. So I might run into them on the back end of the gym, maybe. Who knows? But I try not to be out there in these streets with the buses because it's like when the circus comes to town, you know. So anyway, just thought I'd put that out there. Just thought I'd put that out there. What else is going on? High five to uh I'm sorry. I was reading something. You can't be reading on radio. You cannot read to yourself on radio. You have to you have to keep talking. You have to have sound. This is radio. And I was just reading a message somebody just sent me. So the news is out that Shalea is moving back to Minnesota. Um, and her mother is sick, and she's got to go. She's got to go and see about her mother. As you know, we listen. I have friends who have aging parents. Uh, have aging parents, and they got to take care of them. Uh, you know, you know. So to and so aging parents require care. Um, my friend Nicholas Dowdolf his mother just passed up there in Vermont, and they live in Connecticut, and you got to go back and forth. And when you have independent parents, you can't just make them do whatever you want them to do. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't make them do whatever you want them to do. You can't make them move to your house. I mean, you could suggest and cajole and say, lay out the scenario for what best case scenario is. But I remember when my mother and her sisters, when they were all alive, and only one of them is alive now, my Aunt Geneva, but Um, I remember when they were trying to figure out what to do with their parents, my grandparents, Ruth and Jerome, because they were aging. They were aging and they wanted to be in their house in where the hell, North Carolina. And and I think they were trying to make arrangements to bring them south. But Southern people, particularly old black Southern people, they're not trying to leave the warmth of other suns. They're just not trying to do it. And as much as they love being around their grandchildren and love Connecticut in the summer, they was not feeling Connecticut in the winter, you know. So I think my grandparents were like, we would rather die than live up north. And damned if they didn't die. So I remember very clearly my grandfather's funeral. I do not remember my grandmother's funeral. I don't know why I don't remember that. Maybe I'm just running them all together in my mind. I don't remember my grandmother Ruth's funeral. I don't even remember when she died, but I remember very clearly my grandfather's funeral because we got down there um, just as just as he had died. And yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember hers. Uh, So I get this aging parents business. I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it. I've seen too many of my friends have to deal with it. Have to make arrangements, because some parents are further along than others. Some parents are, if you just put some supports in place, they can stay at home. Some parents, you have to, make sure they're tucked away safely in a facility because, they've got ailments that require around the clock care. Some families, they've got parents who are just like, I'm not doing anything you say. So, I didn't have to deal with that because my mother died at 57, and my father was already in a facility, because he had cancer and he had kidney failure, so he was already in a a a, a care facility, and I had an executor assigned to him because I didn't want to know anything about whatever was going on with him. I felt like I respected my mother in the sense that I did something for him that I would not have done. If she would have died before him, I wouldn't have given a damn about what happened to him. But because she was still alive, I was like, all right, you know, uh, or maybe I got that backwards. When she was alive, I didn't care. But when she died and he was still alive, because she died before he died, I just had him remanded to care. That was it. And they were like, do you want the update? Hell no. Sign a conservator. I don't want to know a damn thing. And when he died, I believe my brothers went to the funeral. I knew I wasn't going. I'm like, that didn't even cross my mind. I was glad he was gone because I dreaded running into him on the streets, which wouldn't have happened because he was remanded to care. But before he was remanded to care, I would see him. I'd be like, oh. It was such a dreaded thing. And I would like go out of my way. And he would see me. I would see him and he would know me. And I'd be like, ugh. And I would just keep it moving. But anyway, that's neither here nor there to anything about anything. I'm just saying, I understand parents have to be handled. And it can be challenging. So that's just what that is. So anyway. We do all the things that we need to do. We can do hard things. And will you stop calling me? I swear to God. Some people just wear you out. So anyway, I'm going to do the red carpet for the centennial celebration of the Q House. I'm doing their red carpet. So I get to be on the red carpet doing what I do. Talk. Talk to people. Chat with people. And just like find out what's happening. I mean, I'm dying to ask, so who are you wearing? I just ask people, what it means. Listen, all you people who listen to me, if you're going to be on that red carpet, these are questions I'm going to ask you. What does the Q house mean to your life? What does it mean to have it back? That kind of stuff. What else needs to happen at the Q house? What are some of the things you like to see happen at the Q house? That kind of stuff. So it'd be like that. So don't get on this red carpet and act like, you know, I'm asking you a question in a language you do not understand. I want everybody, these are the questions. Be prepared. What has the Q house meant to you? Tell me what it means to have it back centered in community once again. And what would you like to see? What would you like to see the Q house become or do into the future? That's what I want to know. That's it. You know, I might ask you about what you're wearing, you know, or I might say something like, how you feeling? How you doing? What's new? And depending on your organization, I might ask you about what's going on over there at your house. You know, it's simple, easy breezy. So whoever's listening to me, tell everybody I said this is how it's going to go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lovely. We're going to have a good time. And hopefully the weather will hold out. You know how September can be that wonderful warmth, chill, warmth. I hope it's like that because nobody wants to be sweating all dressed up. So it'll be lovely. It'll be lovely. It'll be lovely. So I'm you know, it's lovely. So it'll be fun. We'll have a good time. We'll have a really good time. So that's that. The Jamaican American Connection, they're moving their gala from September 14th because it was supposed to be September 14th. But because there is a strike at the Omni has offered them two dates. And so they picked one. So their gala will be the same night as the Arts Gala, Arts Council Awards, which is November 2nd, which is a Saturday. So it'll be two galas, two things. And which is fine because I've gone to two things at the same night. And we'll make it do what it do. I'm gonna be at the Jamaican American Connection Gala. I'm in my night there, and I'm gonna be at the Arts Council Gala Awards. So I'll be at both things. That's just how it's gonna go down. It's fine. I mean, we could listen. I often find myself in these situations. So you go, you do your time in one place, and you go and spend your time in another place, and then you've been in two places. So the Arts Awards is at the Boathouse, which is not my favorite place to be. It's just parking is just it's not a space conducive to a overall experience. That's my thoughts. Other people might feel differently. I like that it's on the water. I like the outside space better than I like the inside space. That's just how I feel. So it'll be fine. And then the Jamaican American, the Jack Gala will be at the Omni. And that'll be fine too. So gala season is upon us, and they are kicking off. Now, usually the Jack Gala is my first gala of the season. Usually. But because of the strike at the Omni, it won't be my first gala of the season. Let me see, what would be my first gala of the season? I don't know who is going on where. Oh, the Arts and Ideas will be my first gala of the season. Their gala is um next Friday, September 6th at 6 o'clock. I'm somebody's guest. I think I know whose guest I am. So I'm Bill Azzoutine's guest. I'm sitting at Bill Azzoutine's table. So I'm excited. So I will be there at their gala at the New Haven Lawn Club. So that'll be swanky. And then the next gala is, oh boy, I don't even know. Huh. Well, it's not the Jack Gala. So it'll be somebody's gala. Then I guess they start again, and then come November. I'm speaking at the Q House Gala is the 27th of September. And then I'm speaking at a conference on when am I doing that? Oh boy. Mhm. I'm speaking at a conference. Uh I'm doing a conference. I'm doing a where is it? Oh, the 27th during the day. It's a Friday. Blossoming Beyond Bars, women's reentry. I'm doing a keynote for that, whatever time I'm doing it. I'll just show up there. I'll be there for whatever, however long. I'll be there. So I'm the keynote for that at the Women's Consortium, the Connecticut Women's Consortium. So I'm excited to do that. I don't know what message. I've been invited. Well, I'm being considered to speak for Church's Women's Day. I don't know if they think that's a good idea or not. We'll see. I don't know if it's a good idea or not if you need me to be in somebody's pulpit talking about anything, but all right. If they game, I'm game. If they feel confident, I feel confident. We'll see. We'll see. We'll let the words of my heart and the meditations of my mouth be pleasing to God. Because God gonna have to help me with this. We'll see what happens. So I sent them my bio because they called me a couple of times. We'd like to consider you, but you need to send us your bio. I was like, okay. I sent it a couple of times because I think I sent it from the wrong email and she probably didn't recognize it. So I sent it to her. So hopefully she got it. We'll see. So anyway, uh uh anyway, uh we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted if I get to preach and bring a mighty word. I get to bring a mighty word to some people, you know. So anyway, that's where we are. So there's a lot going on. Oh, and not not to mention, I should be studying for the LSAT, which I'm taking October, first week of October, 1 through 4. So I have to schedule that. So I have to take I have to you know I have to get to studying. But I'm going up to the Berkshires today to spend the night. I'll be back tomorrow. Gonna go and take a deep breath in Berkshire, Massachusetts air. So we'll see what happens. We're staying at a wonderful space up there, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm getting away for the night. We'll see what happens, and I'll come back. I've got a lot of things that I need to work on, and I'm excited to you know get myself ready to amp up all the stuff that I'm working on and really focus for September. That's really the goal, you know. Uh, to really get, get myself in a good place to really hit some real gains and some goals. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. So anyway, that's where we are. And so I put a post on my Facebook page about, when people die and they try to find pictures of them, and then the pictures they find are the worst possible pictures. And I'm telling you now, anybody who was listening to me this morning, there are a lot of amazing pictures of me out there. A lot. Now there's some unflattering ones, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you do a Google search, and images, there is a million good ass pictures of me. If I die, meet my maker anytime between now and before you. If you put some terrible pictures of me up, I swear to you, my besties would come and beat your ass, and so would my children, because they know I don't play about these pictures. You ever see these people when people die and they put up the worst possible pictures as if these people didn't have any pictures? I'm not gonna be that person. I know who else ain't gonna be that person. Me and Dory Dumas, we neck and neck for pictures. We're not gonna have bad pictures out there. Let me tell you something. When I die and when Dory Dumas dies, listen, you could do a whole retrospective of our lives just through the pictures that we put up. Listen, listen to me. I'm telling you now. I better not see not there. I better not even hear in the hereafter that there were some bad pictures posted of me at my untimely or timely demise. Y'all better make sure I flood my timeline all the time with good ass pictures. There better not be any bad pictures floating around of me. In just terrible pictures. I'm not kidding you. I mean this sincerely. Every time I see somebody, they have these grainy, terrible pictures, just terrible pictures. And I'm like, why? So I'm not gonna be that person. I'm here to tell you. I'm not gonna be that person. So just letting you know. Letting you know. I'm not gonna be that person. So that was my post this morning. People think it's funny. I'm dead serious. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I don't want any terrible pictures. You see too many of these bad pictures out there. People act like, Lord have mercy, let me just get some terrible pictures of somebody. No, absolutely not. You know. Oh, hey Gorman, that's very nice. I would love to. Absolutely. Yes, I would love to. If you come on, absolutely. Uh, so anyway, I'm just saying, and you should come on. So there's a Gorman Bouchard has got a new movie out, him and Colin. Um, and it's a Slice America. And he's inviting me to come and see the film. Of course I'll come see it. And you should come on. I'll send dates, because I think that's important. Let me tell you why I like what I do. Let me tell you why I like this black job. Thank you. Thank you, former President Trump, for giving me a way to frame what I do. My black job. What I love about my black job is that it allows me to do what I do, I think best. I think I'm really good at this. And I'm tooting my own horn because I just like doing it, and it's comfortable to me. I'm comfortable. I love it. I'm not nervous. I could walk on to any, I love a microphone and I love a camera. So I think that's half of the job. You have to like these things. I'm not shy. I don't shy. I'm not shy. I could be shy, but I'm not shy. I'm not an introvert. I'm not a introvert. I'm extremely extroverted. But I like to take my rest and I like time to myself. And I cannot be in company of people for long periods of time. So let's say that. But what I like about what I do is that I really find people fascinating and interesting, you know. And that I like talking to people and hearing their now there's perspectives out there I absolutely cannot stand, but I do like hearing them. I do like hearing them. Now if I roll my eyes, well, that's okay, for me, particularly if it's just a level of crazy that I can't get behind. But I do like listening to people talk about what they are interested in or what is going on with them, you know. Because you can hear a lot about where people are. And this is what I also know, um, that there's a lot of loneliness in the world. That people are loneliness, lonely, and they don't know how to make friends. There's a lot of people who do not know how to make friends. And I don't know if people think making friends at this age is different than when you had to make friends when you were in kindergarten. Because when you were making friends in kindergarten, you just had to share your graham crackers or, invite them to play in the sandbox with you, or do you want to play dolls, or do you want to play cards, or do you want to run the cars, or do you want to get on the monkey bars? You know, when we were little kids in pre-K and kindergarten, all that kind of stuff, but we knew how to invite people. We understood invitation. I think adults don't understand they've lost their ability to invite people to things because to invite people to stuff you start making it up in your head. Oh, they're gonna say no, or they're gonna think you start to overthink it. You start to think, well, why would they want to go somewhere with me or do something with me, which is not what you should be thinking about when you invite people. It's just difficult. So uh yeah, I mean, it's just challenging. It's challenging for me to think about how challenging it is for people, because I don't have that problem. I'm never a stranger anywhere. I mean, I'm just not. I'm just not a stranger anywhere. I don't know what that is. And I'm not suggesting people be more like me. I need people to just be themselves. But I do think people need to sort of hone their invitation skills, because people are lonely. And with all this technology, no one should be lonely. But here we are. People sitting in there suffering in silence, being alone. They don't go anywhere, they don't do anything, they don't interact with people because they don't know how to do it. Now it's one thing if you don't want to do it. And then I'd have to wonder why you don't want to do it. What is it about being in the company of other people that is so egregious to people? Like what makes you not want to be in the company of people? And I get I am off the chart social. So I'm not expecting anybody to do what I do. I'm just not. Because first, most people can't sustain this level of fun. It's not sustainable for a lot of people. I get that. I get it. So I'm not suggesting I'm the model for anything. I'm not the model for nothing. But I will say that there's a lot of things that could go on that people could be a part of that would take some of the edge off loneliness and build themselves community that would help them with the things that they are very fearful about, of being alone, of aging alone, of not having connection, that kind of stuff. And we have to figure out a way to hone the invitational skills. How do we invite people to things? How do we do that? How do we get people out of their heads and homes and into community? And community could be anything. How do I invite people to theater? I talk about this with John. I've had this conversation last summer with Jonathan about, how do we get church folk to come to theater? And come to theater, any kind of theater, not theater that's rooted in religion. Because going to religious stuff is not going to get you into heaven. That's not the pathway. I'm here to tell you. So, all you people who are faithful, just going to religious stuff and watching that's not the path. You can do that all day and still be an asshole or mean or whatever. That's not the path. But we'll talk about the path some other time. But what I'm trying to do is to just get people, you know, how do you do it? I try to invite as many people as I can to things, you know, particularly, artistic things, because that's where I spend a lot of my time in spaces of art, where art is created, art is presented, art is talked about, art is discovered. I like that because I feel like if you can center yourself in arts, you could center yourself in civility, and you could center yourself in community. And art is a great way to have a conversation about what ails you, what's going on in the world, just by virtue of seeing an exhibition in communion with somebody. It opens the door to a conversation, larger conversations about all kinds of things. So, Marquise just said the funniest thing. I'm dead, 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 dead. So anyway, this is a family show. I can't repeat that on air. I'm not gonna repeat it on air. Let me uh let me do a little bit more uh, uh let me do a little bit more recapping of what's going on in the world and on the news. Um uh Paul, I wanted to tune into your conversation about sound waves because somebody had said to me, I think a theologian has said to me, there's no real reason why sound and music should exist. No music should exist in the world. There's no reason for it. Like not now we know music is necessary, but it exists unlike other things. Like we know we need air and fire to cook and the sun to shine. I mean, we need a roof and all these things. But sound and music is a whole other kind of thing, and it was a fascinating conversation that I was privy to, and it made me think about that in a grander, bigger way. Particularly when I go to because I go to the symphony. I'm always at the symphony. I'm always at some kind of live music. Ah, ah, that is too funny. Anyway, um, so yeah, so I'm gonna go back and listen to that because I want to hear if they have the same thinking as the theologian that I was listening to. I was fascinated by the conversation. I was quite fascinated by it. So, but anyway, I had a pizza for breakfast this morning because I had ordered a pizza last night from next door because they do it beautifully. They do their own cheese, their own vegan cheese, and it's such a nice pizza. I get sausage, peppers, and onions. Such a good pizza. But it's a small pizza. But after two slices, I'm full. So I put it in the fridge. So this morning, I got up and I had more more pizza. So it was really nice. So anyway, I'm gonna go now because I gotta take this call. No, I'm not. Wait, I'll call it back. It's just one of those things. People are calling me. Like, I should just take these calls on air and to teach people stop calling me at between 9 and 11. I know. Well, you know what? I don't have to answer because it could just go to voicemail, you know. And I really prefer people to text me now because, voicemail is just like you have to listen to it. Text, you can just read and like answer it and blah, 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 blah. I'm one of these people, I love all the tools of communication. I'm not one of these people who are just like, oh, X, Y, and Z. I don't like text. I don't like email. I use whatever the tools are. And sometimes my friends um uh uh text me with the voice message inside the text. I think that's like, and sometimes I'm like, could you just text me? Like now I gotta listen to this, but it's real easy. Like I don't, back in the day when you have voicemail, you had to log into your voicemail. Remember that? You had to put the codes in and all this other kind of mess, and then like listen. Now it's there. You already do it, and you don't have to keep doing it. It's already there. So I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So anyway, it's just tools of communication. When I come back in the second hour, I want to talk about the AI stuff. This AI stuff is really quite fascinating to me. And I think somebody just lost a whole pool of money uh, betting on AI, or maybe they gained a lot of money betting on AI. I got to go and find that piece. It was interesting. But AI is with us. I mean, you see how they're rolling it out, right? To make your life better, make your life easier. Harry, there's this commercial that I love where the guy, his whole house is AI, is set up. His coffee is made a particular way. The music starts, the fireplace goes on, blah, 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 blah. The temperature is set, all the stuff. Then he goes to the dentist and it has some dental work done. When you go to the dentist and they, numb you up, your speech is all whatever. So he gets to his house telling his door to open, and the door does not understand him. So he's screaming at his door. Meanwhile, his neighbor walks by and puts the key in her door and goes in. So he finally gets into his house and he's talking to the house, trying to get stuff happening. And everything just goes haywire. And the gist of the commercial is, a lock and a key is still a good idea. So I just thought about that, Harry, because we're always talking about, the use of AI locking us out of our house, saying, today, Harry, is not a good day for you to be outside. All right, I'll be back at 10:15. Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.